Hey there, guys, and welcome to another Factorio Friday Facts discussion, number 286, Pollution Cleanup, and I'm joined by Flixian, as always.
Hello, everyone. Missed you guys.
Yeah, it was a little bit lonely here without you last week, but to be honest, you pretty much picked the best week possible to leave since it was, I think, like the shortest Friday Facts in history.
Yeah, that was good luck.
Yeah, for sure. Um, so this one's a bit different. They've done a one-time change of the style, and they're basically doing a day-by-day write-up of what they did this last week, which is pretty interesting. I'm gonna summarize some of it because a lot of it is just explaining like little tiny details of what they did. Which, if you're interested in that, you can go read it. But it would take me a very long time to actually read every single thing here. So Monday was pretty much just bug fixing. They initially had their meetings and discuss the development plan and the Friday Facts plan, and then everyone settled into bug fixing, which basically boils down to find a bug to work on, try to reproduce the problem, try to fix the problem, check the solution is effective at fixing the bug, check the solution didn't break something else. For this, we have over 1,300 integration tests, which cover a large amount of code base. They also have a server which runs tests for all platforms whenever anything is pushed to the master in a pull request. Uh, Commit the solution with a changelog entry to master and push. If applicable, move the bug report on the forum to resolved for next release.
Yeah, pretty standard software development workflow. Find a bug, reproduce it, fix it, test it, make sure you didn't break anything, push.
Right. So that's basically a lot of what they're doing right now in general. But it was about 4 p.m. and they decided to release. There wasn't anything super game breaking, but there was an introduction campaign script problem which we had solved, so we decided to start the development process. Um, the deploy process basically goes like they enter a console command on the deploy server. The deploy server does its automation magic, builds all the platforms and uploads it everywhere, updates the local from crowd and etc. A human finishes the non-automated steps, namely posting the Steam change logs and setting the release live on Steam. Uh, and this
They
process
haven't
usually
automated
takes,
everything yet.
yeah, not quite, but pretty close. And it takes about 90 minutes for the entire process. So,
Yeah, it's
however,
pretty quick.
yeah, honestly, it really is. They saw a massive spike in crash reports. Seems we had broken something with GUIs and multiplayer. After the first hour, we had over 100 crash reports, so it was definitely a big problem. It was just a simple oversight, so it was a one-line fix, which is really good, and then they just deployed it again. So that's nice that it was a very quick fix for them.
Yeah, um, quick fixes like that are really nice in software development. It's the ones where you can't figure out what's going on, and it takes you hours and hours, and then you find out it's a one-line fix. Those are the ones that suck.
Yeah, I bet. So Tuesday, I believe is mostly pollution stuff. Uh,
Yeah, they're going over details about pollution, and then in addition to all the bug fixes, and this is when they're planning out this new feature that they're adding for us, which is the pollution graph in production statistics.
right, which is shown on Wednesday. So for a little more on Tuesday, basically Kovacs brought up a discussion in the office about pollution balance, which was prompted by a post. Basically, I glanced at this where somebody said that the pollution from furnaces has changed and wasn't sure if it was a bug or not. But basically, they had normalized the burner energy efficiencies, which they hadn't considered would affect how much pollution burners would generate. Um, and basically, they don't have any solid information on pollution and what real values in the game are, which is understandable because I mean we've never seen any like real. I mean you kind of can like the machines say just X pollution, or if you turn on the debug menu, there is a setting where you can see like how much pollution is in a chunk. But other than that, there's not really any indicators.
Yeah, most people will just see the ambiguous red cloud on the map view,
Yeah, pretty much. And the only way you could really tell is
and
by
then
how red it was.
yeah, and then what people usually do with that is don't let the red cloud touch biters.
Yeah, essentially. So basically, by the end of the day, Kovacs had pollution statistics in the game with some finalization planned for later on. Again, yeah, like you said, pretty much bug fixing. In the evening, Kovacs finished off the pollution statistics, adding statistic for tree absorption and tile absorption, which is pretty cool. Kovacs often will work on a night shift for a few hours after he has wrestled his three young boys to bed. Another change was made while looking at these statistic GUIs was the static smoothing logic. The way it was before, all statistics had a smoothing of 0 except for item statistics, which meant they were extremely spiky, as you can see here, and they decided to smooth it out, which is what we see here, which is way nicer.
Yeah, that's the one thing I didn't really like about the production statistics. Like, for example, space science, you produce 1,000 in one tick when the rocket actually launches, and then 0 until the next rocket launches.
Right.
So it's almost like an impulse function there.
Yeah. Um, so that's that. Wednesday, as you can see, they've changed some stuff. Did some changes to the internal prototype value. The next step was reworking how to show pollution, and they changed it to X a second value instead of just like some arbitrary amount. When shown in its format to the player, the numbers were very large and not clean, such as 83.33 a second. The goal was to normalize the value, so they cleaned up the numbers, and it's like 1 a second, 5 a second, etc., while keeping the balance relatively the same. The general result is that all internal values are roughly divided by 60, and there were many migrations which needed to support this. The amount of pollution on each chunk, the amount absorbed by spawners, and the amount absorbed by trees, and the result is something like this. For a burner mining drill, you can see here pollution is 12 a second.
Yeah, more information is good.
Definitely makes a lot more sense now. And then a new graphics setting for macOS, pretty much, which is
Yeah, it's for
nice.
the Retina resolution for MacBooks.
Yeah. And then Thursday, this is, so I was wrong. It wasn't Wednesday, it was Thursday. We actually get to see this. After finalizing the pollution migrations and ensuring all the tests passed, the pollution changes were merged to master. The plan was made to make a release which will include the changes, so if there are any bugs, we can fix them on Friday. With it merged to master, the values somewhat figured out. This is what the new pollution graph will look like in a typical factory. So this is really cool. This is in your production menu. If you open it with P, you have items, fluids, buildings, but then you also now have pollution, which I think is really cool. You can see how much your buildings are producing and then what's absorbing it and how much.
Yeah, pretty cool. More information that we didn't already have.
Yeah, exactly. So like pretty much 5,000 pollution a minute from mining drills is quite a lot. And also, this can be kind of nice actually to tell like how many bases are in your pollution range at like a quick glance without scanning the whole map, because if you open it and saying like the last minute you have 10 bases absorbing pollution, that means that there has to be 10 bases at least in your pollution thing, in your pollution cloud.
Yeah, that's really good.
Another nice addition was adding the information about what biters will spawn and how much pollution the spawner will absorb when it sends out a unit to attack. As you can see here, biter spawner, spawn values for current evolution factor 0.73, 35% medium, 20 pollution, 64% big biter, 80 pollution. And this is super nice because you never really knew, like, well, you could know. I always forgot the values of like what biters would spawn at what evolutions or factors, but now you can kind of just tell exactly.
Um, is that based on the thresholds? I thought that's the percent chance of getting a medium biter and percent chance of getting a big biter.
Well, you're right, but I mean, like, I mean, it lower evolution values, there's going to be no chance. So I guess what I was saying is like,
Oh, oh, it's showing you that it can spawn big biters. Okay,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
yeah,
Um,
that makes sense. And I also want to touch on the fact that you no longer have to type /evolution to find out what your evolution factor is.
That's a very good point too. Yeah, this makes it much easier.
Yeah, more information that's not hidden away behind a command. It's just readily available in the GUI.
Yeah, super nice. I love these type of things. Um, so also on Thursday, they normally prepare the Friday facts, which means writing up the topic, preparing GIFs and images, finalizing features, and applying a lick of polish. Sometimes a deadline is tight, but it works well to push us to get things finished in a reasonable time. We've experienced a problem where if you have infinite time to work on something, it ends up taking infinite time to finish. Um, and this is, I like reading this because I actually have always wondered how they went about doing the Friday facts. If it was like just one person, period, who like did it all like Friday morning, or if they all worked on it kind of throughout the week or what. But this is really cool to kind of now know their process behind this.
Yeah, I like it. I like seeing behind the scenes like this.
Yeah, definitely. Uh, and then around 16:30, they decided they should get the deploy started and made the internal announcement. Basically, it lets everyone know and gives enough time to finish and push any work. One of the filed things for 17.12 release was merging a branch from Dominic related to modded underground pipes, specifically the moving of underground pipe connection support from pipe to ground class into the fluid box. Um, when they have large change like that, they process it through pull requests. Our seating as our nominated code reviewer will go through the PR for any bugs or issues, and if it all looks good, he will handle merging it to the master branch. Um,
Good old PRs. I spend most of my day on pull requests, actually.
oh, interesting. Is that
Yeah, because we have
fun
a
or
massive
no?
amount. Well, it depends. On my project, we have a massive amount of code to go through, so it's just slogging through the code, looking for any inconsistencies or style issues,
Right.
readability, maintainability issues.
Okay. Hmm. And then Friday, basically, in a way, the plan worked. As after release, we had some feedback about the things we missed, which were migrating the map settings of how pollution increases the evolution factor. Pollution was increasing evolution 16.6 times faster than it should for existing saves. Um, the emissions of Steel Furnace were too low compared to 16. Changed the map settings example to not have now ridiculous pollution values. So having your evolution factor increases 16 times the normal rate, that's the thrill of playing on experimental. Oh my gosh. Um, and yeah, so basically on a Friday, the Friday Facts is in the stage of finalization. The last parts of topics are filled in. Images upload and final editing starts. This week is somewhat special as I am writing this day by day. Um, so basically, as of when he was writing this today, it was past 5 p.m. Most of the team is winding down for the weekend. Kind of bug reports on the forum is 366, which is lower than the 372 of last week. So it might be past the peak of the curve where the bug reports no longer appear faster than we are able to close them. We have 17.13 out, over 100 bug reports solved in the last 7 days, and a few new features for y'all to enjoy. I'd say it's been a pretty good week. Last order of business is publishing the Friday facts. Um, and then
Yeah, pretty typical week.
yeah, that's awesome. That's a ton of bug reports fixed. And lastly, the latest release has a new version of the introduction campaign. We would appreciate if anyone could give it another playthrough so we can get as much feedback as possible, and ideally have someone unfamiliar with the game try it. So there you go, guys. You've been ordered to go push the game on your friends who haven't played it yet.
Yeah, free marketing.
Exactly, it's perfect. Um, and that's pretty much it. So this was interesting. I know we like did a pretty big summary and missed all the little details, but you can go read those if you want. It's pretty cool though, seeing their kind of day by day routine here.
Yeah, like I said, I like seeing behind the scenes like this. I like to see what's going on under the hood.
Yeah, me too, for sure. So I think that's it, guys. Nice changes, all good. I look forward to next week and more bug fixes. So I think that'll close it, unless you have anything else.
Nope, that's it.
All right, cool. As always, guys, leave your thoughts, questions below, and until next time, we will see you later.
See ya.